Listen to the kids. I will die for the art, for what I believe in. And the art ain't always going to be polite. Y'all might be thinking right now, I wonder, did he smoke something before he came out here? The answer is yes. I rolled up a little something. I knocked the edge off. What's gonna happen tonight? I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, bro. But all I can say to my artists, my fellow artists, just worry how you feel at the time, man. Just worry about how you feel. And don't never, you know what I'm saying? I'm confident. Believe in myself. We the millennials, bro. This is a new mentality. We're not gonna control our kids with brands. We're not gonna teach low self-esteem and hate to our kids. We're gonna teach our kids that they can be something. We're going to teach our kids that they can stand up for themselves. We're going to teach our kids to believe in themselves. If my grandfather was here right now, he would not let me back down. I don't know what I'm finna lose after this. It don't matter though, because it ain't about me. It's about ideas, bro. New ideas. People with ideas. People who believe in truth. And yes, as you probably could have guessed by this moment, I have decided in 2020 to run for president.
Yo, it's your man Caleb. Welcome to Cocktails and Consciousness. This is a critical thinking platform where we discuss topics that are important and some not so important to the Black Millennial. Now, sometimes those issues are tough, so we handle it with a cocktail. Now, this is your gracious host, Caleb, and the lovely, very lovely
Ivory.
Ivory. All right.
Hello, hello, hello.
All right, so as we said, as we know, this show is for the millennials. And so this show will be dedicated fully to Kanye West, a fellow millennial who took the stage of the VMAs yesterday and said some very interesting things that that definitely are going to be very pertinent to now and also to later, because
upcoming years.
Definitely upcoming years, because before he dropped the mic and walked off the stage, he announced his bid for the 2020
presidency
election. All right. So before we get into that, though, that's the end. Let's get into the beginning now. Kanye West started off his rant. Now, I don't want to call this a rant, though, because I mean, more so in the past, we know it's been more so rants. He has been under the influence of cocktails. He did mention, like, last time he went up and grabbed the award from Taylor Swift, he was off a fresh half bottle of Hennessy. But this time he left the cocktails alone and picked up a little bit of the consciousness. Right? He picked up some weed, rolled up a little something. He said to knock the edge off. All right, but he started off his talk saying, listen to the kids. Listen to the kids. Now, I believe that notion there is just something fresh as we go forward, because I mean, I think a lot of the people who we say are in charge have not been listening to the kids. They usually listen to their own ideas. They listen to their own old way of life, and what that does a lot of times is lead us into old ways. But the thing about it is, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but what you can do is ask that the old dogs move out the way and let the new dogs with the new ideas in. And that's kind of like where Kanye West went with this, basically saying listen to the kids. Now, what do you think about that? Because you do work with kids, and your brand, Define Myself, has a lot to do with with children defining themselves going forward. So how do you feel about Kanye West saying, hey, let's listen to the kids?
Well, you know that I am all for that. Like, as you said, I do work in education, and even in our conversations, I'm always talking about the youth and young people, and that's where the power lies. That's where it's always going to lie, because they are the people that bring forth a new generation of things. And so it's really important that not only do we instill them with knowledge, but we listen to what they have to say, because it's sometimes way more critical and innovative than the ideas and the thoughts that an adult could have. I always say that I prefer working with children than adults, because they have honest conversations, and they haven't conformed yet. They haven't been taught to just go along with everything else. They still have their creativity and their individualistic ideals. And so definitely I'm here for Kanye when he says listen to the kids. It is probably the most important thing that a person can do. So I can rock with that. That was great for Kanye.
I definitely agree. And one of the things that Kanye West stressed is the art and the artist. We know that in the past he has a lot of the opinions, or a lot of the aggressive things that he's done has been in the name of art. Now, when he did take the stage and took the award back in the day, a couple of years back from Taylor Swift, and wanted to give it to Beyonce, that was because he was in the name of protecting art. So he says. Now he said what he calls himself. He calls himself Yeezus. Mm-hmm. All right, so Kanye calls himself Yeezus, which is a play on the word of Jesus, which is the savior of the Christians. But one thing he said, I died for artists to have an opinion after they're famous. Now what that means to me is this. I feel like it's a trade-off. It's a trade-off. You are an artist, but a lot of times you are a brand, or you are a commodity for people to make money off of. And they kind of banish you to the old school thing of, they want you to be seen but not really heard. And I think, Kanye West has again and again proved that he's the epitome of basically going against that. He demands to be heard, and he will be heard. He also said that MTV, who did host the VMAs, they do stuff for ratings. All right, now he basically said that he didn't understand how an award shows can set up great artists to basically be losers. I mean, because when you have a plethora of artists at an award show and only one person can win it, they all might be great, but only one person can win it. And a lot of times that's on somebody's opinion. And like Kanye West has said in his songs before, these niggas wear suits because they can't dress no more. You know what I mean? So if that goes into artistry and creativity. If you can't even dress anymore, like, how can you judge my art? Something that you probably know nothing about. So I definitely dig Kanye West on that. He also said, I will die for the art that I believe in. Right? So basically, what do you think about that, Ivory? You basically saying that a lot of these corporations, including MTV, are doing stuff just for ratings, just basically to profit off of their artistry without really understanding it. And him basically believing that, you know, everybody's a winner when you're art, when you do art, and he's basically going to die for that. What do you really think about that?
I think that, you know, obviously I kind of that piece of the speech I was sort of struggling with, because I kind of fell into my whole thing with Kanye, which I have this like love-hate relationship with him anyway, but I fell into my whole thing of like, oh, here he goes again, because he has all this privilege, but he's complaining about some of the things that he's still not getting, even though he has all of these great things in his privilege. But then I had to think about it a little bit more, and I automatically thought about what I talked about last week on the podcast with the whole idea of like, if you're not creating, if you're creating, you'll always be rich. And so he's very, very passionate about the idea of creating, because he understands to create is to be free. And I agree with that, because I feel like that's what we're all placed on this earth to do. We're not here to work and to be pawns in a society. We're here to create and manifest things and put good vibes and good energy into the world and feed off of each other. And I think he's clear about that, and I think that he's frustrated because even in the industry where they're supposed to support artistry, he sees that that's even policed and it's limited and it's politics in that. So I do still feel like Kanye definitely has his moments of like the like spoiled baby who whines about things, but I cannot take it away from him that he has legitimate reasons for whining. So what I got from that whole thing with the artist and the artistry and is that he understands that to create is to be free, and he's frustrated that there's limits even on creating. So, you know.
Definitely. As an artist, Kanye West definitely wants to, you know, get rid of that limited belief. He said that we the millennials, the new mentality, was basically is derived from non-hate and getting rid of all the low self-esteem. He wants people to believe in themselves, stand up for yourself. And I think that really ties into what a true millennial is. Mm-hmm. It's a brand new mentality. There's no more silent generation. There is no more Generation X. I mean, the millennials make up the bulk of the people. We have the baby boomers who are actually getting ready to go, you know, to sleep. You know what I mean? Getting ready to fall off the map. And it's going to be us to pick up the slack on that. Now, because a lot of things, a lot of the construct that was designed for people like the silent generation and the baby boomers, you know, after the war, a lot of it was very, let's say a lot, it was like Pleasantville. It was all like scripted. You know what I mean? People did exactly what they told them to do. People got off work, went home, watched sitcoms, watched commercials, you know, media, all that shit was propaganda to live a certain way. Right. And you know what millennials are doing now is we're definitely breaking from that. But Kanye West also, what he did, I mean, you know, you kind of have to, when people listen to Kanye West, you can't look at it with a jaded view. You know, you have to look at Kanye West and accept Kanye West through his faults and through his, you know, his wins, because Kanye West has the balls to put himself out there. I don't think he knows a lot of times what he's gonna get out of doing that. But like he said, his grandfather told him, hey, don't back down, and you just put yourself out there. But, you know, the roadmap that he gives us, he doesn't just say, millennials, I want y'all to do this. He said, you know, millennials, you have to have a new mentality. You know, you have to get rid of the hate and low self-esteem that has been set up, basically keep you bonded. You know, you have to believe in yourself again and stand up for yourself. And I believe that Kanye West is he is the epitome of that. And I'm happy about that. Now, with most things, I think Kanye West is also mature now. And he understands, you know, life is a give and take. You know, you can't reach the heights that Kanye West has without, you know, life taking a couple things from you. You know, it's taking a lot of his self-esteem. Kanye West is also one of those people who's very transparent.
Yeah.
So we kind of, especially millennials who followed him from when his first album, you know, with Jesus Walks and all that. You know, people know that, you know, Kanye,
he's self-conscious.
Yeah, he's self-conscious. He said that, I'm so self-conscious. Like, you know, and he believes that he didn't just speak that for himself. I think he spoke that on the generation.
Yeah, we all are to a certain extent.
Definitely. And he also said in his maturity, I don't know what I'm about to lose. But it's not about me. It's about ideas and people with the ideas. So basically, he knows that, you know, for him to go to another level in this game, he's going to have to lose something. He knows that he's going to be targeted. He knows what happens when people speak out. He knows that once you put yourself into the leadership role, that basically you bear the brunt of the for the bunch, and he doesn't care anymore. And you know, if that's not powerful, man, then really what is?
Yeah, I agree. I think too the reason why, I mean, as you know, I was listening to it, I was thinking like everything always aligns, and what we're trying to do with this podcast is very much so everything that he said in that speech, because like you know, as we say in the beginning, we target the Black Millennium, and we believe in this idea of being able to create and be free through your creativity, and to sacrifice even monetary gain to be able to like live life on your own terms, defining yourself, and understanding that that's like your ultimate freedom. And that's essentially what he is saying, is like, you know, protect your ability to create. Don't hold back out of fear of losing something, because when you lose, you ultimately gain. And he also mentioned the fact that like, even when you are self-conscious and you are worried about, you know, what others may think about it, because everybody wants on some level to be acknowledged and to be accepted and to have accolades for what they do. But when you sacrifice maybe immediate gratification, immediate success, and you choose to create and to build, you also sacrifice your ability to have people see you in a certain light, and people and open the doors up for people to judge you, but do it anyway. You know, you're self-conscious along the way because it's new, but do it anyway. Be willing to lose, because you know that in the end there's ultimate gain. The greatest gain, in my opinion, is freedom, and the freedom to be able to like live life the way that you choose to, without anybody telling you the rules and regulations to it. That's, to me, is like, it's priceless. And so like, he just hit it on the head.
Definitely. And he brought it back home. Like I said, he brought it back home for a lot of millennials.
Yes.
And if you weren't introduced to this already, then you definitely were, because, you know, VMA had, you know, a very large viewership. And so I'm just hoping that, you know, a lot of those people, if they weren't awoke, they're starting to wake up now.
Right.
And if it takes Kanye West to do it, hell, I'm with it, you know, because Kanye West, I believe in Kanye West. You know, I don't know why exactly. It might just be because I believe in, you know, art, or I believe in, you know, freedom and creativity. And I believe that if somebody, you know, attacks something with that mindset, then they'll be successful. Especially if they know that, you know, it takes sacrifice. I mean, that's the biggest thing, you know. And that's why I am happy that the last thing Kanye West did was endorse himself for the 2020 presidency. You know, he didn't say this one. I mean, of course, I'm riding with these nuts on this one. Right. But after these nuts, you know, does a good job and opens it up for us, I think Kanye West is gonna bring it home. But really though, Kanye West, I believe he's maybe 35 or something, maybe in his mid-30s.
Yeah.
By that time, he'll be older. It's 5 years away. I believe that Kanye West, you know, he'll be older, and if he continues to, because he's always been ahead of his time.
He has. And you think about the time when he said George Bush doesn't care about black people. Like, I feel like that was his bid right there, because he inserted himself into this idea of people seeing him in a political way. And so I just think that was like genius. Like, for a minute I'm like, I don't know how that will work, because if you are somebody who is critically thinks about things, you understand that like political system doesn't necessarily help the masses, in my opinion, and in a lot of, you know, educated people's opinion, when you watch how the process works. But, you know, like you said, I believe in Kanye, so maybe he has a larger plan. You know, sometimes he thinks way ahead of us. So definitely.
And I just hope that plan does not involve, you know, his potential first lady Kim Kardashian's views. You know, I think Kanye West needs to just, you know, have a family life, but definitely, you know, any of this stuff. Like, I don't even want him to have a conversation with her about this. Like, what do you think? Don't even ask her what do you think, because I mean,
I think he's definitely asking her, because anytime you marry somebody, like this somebody you have pillow talk, you always ask your spouse what they think about things. That's where you're most vulnerable, so you're always going to have their opinion. Now, as you know, I'm not the biggest fan of Kim Kardashian, but I would venture to say I want to say she's a pretty intelligent woman, because nobody can make it this far in the industry like this without being smart about their moves. So I don't know if she probably has views to give him in terms of like the conscious piece. He's always had that, but maybe on some other level she can probably give him opinions on certain things. But I'm happy that, you know, so far the time that they've been dating, he hasn't changed his ways, because I was concerned about that. But he's definitely going to be not necessarily asking her, should I say this, but like, you know what I mean? I think that's just a given thing in relationships.
Yeah. But lastly, what's our next segment, or our last segment, is what's on your consciousness? Oh, I'm sorry, what's on your conscious? I always get that wrong. I don't know why. But like, what's on my conscious is this. I believe that, you know, art is going to lead the way. Art in many ways, because art is not just, you know, like you being like finger painting as a kid. Art is the ultimate creativity. It ultimately comes from your mind, and you try to manifest it the best way you can, whether it be in music, whether it be in on paper, or whether it be, you know, in the world. You know, you manifest your art. So, you know, what I take from this is the fact that, you know, start to paint your picture. You know, because again, it starts in your head first. So just be thinking about all the things that you really want your picture to include. Now, some of those things might be a little far from you right now, because, you know, you might have to develop a little bit more. You might have to develop some skills. You might have to develop some thick skin. You might have to, you know, develop a couple different things in order to reach that. But you'll never know if you even can do it unless you start to paint the picture and actually have the balls or the galls to actually go after the picture. Now, it's a black man. Kanye West is a black man from Southside Chicago, and he is getting ready to. I don't want to make it permanent, because I don't know. You know, you never know. You want to know if Kanye was serious, because like he said he was. Who knows? He ain't, hey nigga, I'm running for president. You know what I'm saying? but the fact is, you know, the world's definitely changing, guys. So if it was any better, if it was any time to believe in yourself and kind of, you know, go for it, it's right now. Yeah. And we all dying. Always remember that we're all dying. You could be in perfect health, but every day goes by, you're dying. All right, what you got, Ivory?
I don't really have anything this week. I feel like, or today, I feel like this whole conversation around what he said was like what was on my conscience. I'm just really happy that, you know, what you and I talk about on a daily basis was really confirmed through like his speech. And it's really like, you know, I'm all for like, you know, being aligned with the universe, and how like what you put out there is confirmed through like little like messages or signs that happen throughout your day. And like this was it for like me in terms of like, you know, believing in the idea of tapping into the Black millennials and instilling a sense of like it's inspiration and educating them and wanting to like be a part of this movement, which I think it is, of free creative people. And so I think it was confirmed through this speech that he did that, like, you know, we're on the right path. And I encourage other people to, you know, start contemplating the same thing. And it's already happening, but even as you're contemplating it, push yourself a little bit more to actually start to do it, because it's so worth it. And yeah, that's it for me.
I definitely feel that. All right, and that's our show for the day. It's Under the Influence, Cocktails and Consciousness, featuring Ivory and Caleb. And we are signing off now. Don't forget Oh yeah, okay.
I was gonna say, because you know we have an Instagram page now that has been building, and I want people to go on there. Cocktails and Consciousness on Instagram. Facebook, we have Cocktails and Consciousness. And what is our email?
It's under the influence cc at gmail.com. That's under the influence cc at gmail.com. Also, don't forget to check out some of our brands we got, man, which Ivory has defined myself, which actually we went out to we were like vendors, and we sold some shirts. People definitely know exactly what's going on. People want to join the movement of defining themselves, and that definitely feeds right into this. So if you get a chance, check that out. And as far as empowering millennials, if you get a chance, check out my book, 50 plus quotes that will empower athletes. Now, you might not be an athlete, but you know, in a competitive world, you have to have a competitive mindset, and everybody essentially is an athlete. So go check that out also. And until next time, this is Ivory and Caleb signing off. Cocktails and Consciousness.
Bye.
Later.